Scaling your reselling business has more to do with the knowledge that you've got and less to do with the volume of items that you're purchasing in order to resell. Let me explain. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that in order to scale a business, they need to be purchasing more stock. And that's true to a certain extent, but consider this for a second. What if you're still making bad purchases? This is a position that I think a lot of people find themselves in, where they are in a rush in order to reinvest the little money that they've made in order to buy more stock, thinking that that's going to make them more sales. But in actual fact, that could be a huge trap, especially if you're making the wrong decision in relation to the items that you're purchasing. So one of the things obviously is sourcing strategies. Now, I'm not saying all wholesalers are bad, some of them are fantastic, but you might be better in knocking out single reps, as in you're just doing single items and getting a real appreciation for what is really in demand currently, and looking for that, because that's going to allow you to scale to a point where the amount of money that you've got available to invest is much bigger. Also, managing your money when you're operating a reselling business is absolutely critical, especially if you're looking to draw on that as your primary source of income coming into your house. So I would suggest that you look at things like cash management strategies to make sure that you're never in a position where you're caught short. Ultimately, you need to have a much bigger cash reserve than you actually think. The reason I say that is twofold. You might be in a position where you're having a slow month, and that's going to mean that the amount of money that you've got available gets drawn upon, either through making additional stock purchases because you're trying to bump up the amount of items that you're listing in order to sell, or you've got to continue to draw on that sum of money that you've got in order to be able to take a salary to live. These are some of the things that newer people don't necessarily consider, but it's absolutely critical that you have an understanding of that before you go to rush into doing this any further. The other thing, that systems are also a thing that are absolutely critical. Systems is the final point I'll make here. Every effective reseller who is operating at scale has really well implemented systems. They've taken the time to consider how each part of their business runs. So sourcing is one part that we've already spoken about, but also the processing of items. Let's say, for instance, you're looking to resell trainers, right? If you've got to spend 30 minutes in order to clean up one pair of trainers to get it to the point where it's sellable, but you're only making 25, 30 pounds, that is not scalable. The problem is that it's taking you too long in order to process an item, and therefore what little profit you are making is being spread out over a period of hours. And this is what I don't think a lot of people are considering, especially those people who are just sourcing on the basis of whatever they find. Great, I found a £5 item, or even worse, you found a £3 item. Do you realise that working for £3 profit whilst also risking part of your capital, no matter how much it actually costs you, is a waste of time? Nobody is out there going, I'll go work for £3 an hour, so why are you? And don't come to me and say, well, I might be able to process 7 or 8 of them. The problem comes when it comes to getting returns, or if that item is damaged. You're in a position where and this is inevitable when you're running your own reselling business, right? You're going to get returns, you're going to make mistakes, a damage is going to happen, unforeseen circumstances. Working for £3 is just out the question. You need to set yourself a minimum profit margin that you're prepared to operate at, and never go below it, no matter how appealing the opportunity looks. Sourcing items that are going to make you £3 profit ultimately means that you are working for less than minimum wage. So that's another thing to consider. Also, your listing process. Are you able to operate at scale? Are you able to get out 10, 15, 20, 30? I've heard people talking about listing 50 items a day. Would you be capable of doing that? Have you done the numbers to work out exactly how many items you need to buy, process, list and sell in order to have the lifestyle that you're looking at? These are just a few considerations that you need to have. If you find that useful, you may find this video useful as well. Go search that out on the page.